Awesome. Alrighty. Oh, it's Friday night. Yay, I love Friday nights. They're so fun. All right, I'm just gonna throw the door closed here. Give me 2 seconds. Alrighty. So welcome everybody. We have a fun session set up for you guys tonight. I have been really diving into this pre-eclipse season that we're having. So if you guys need me to clarify anything, or if you have any questions, please absolutely feel free to type it in the chat and I will be trying to pay attention to that. Um, when we talk about eclipse seasons, the big thing that they're really for is all about sort of cleansing and clearing. And I'm going to get into a little bit more about the actual portal of an eclipse. And this is a very powerful one. There's something called an eclipse family. And what happens with an eclipse family is about every 18 years or so, it rotates. And so it's coming back into this 18-year cycle, the way this eclipse of particular planets and the way things are working. And what I have come to understand about eclipse families is that when they cycle back, sort of renewal happening, renewal of energy, about 18 years ago, that would bring us to April 2005. And before that would have been April 1987. And then before that would have been, 1960, 69? Have to double check. I didn't write that one down, but 18 years previous to that. So depending on where your energy was at that point in time, a lot of times when I've been coaching with people, especially when these eclipse families switch up, what happens is that we wind up getting this renewal of energy. So about 18 years ago in 2005, we were probably feeling very inspired and enlightened and, kind of ready for this precipice of change and excitement. And so we kind of get this opportunity to come back to that state about 18 years ago. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that your life experiences are going to repeat themselves, but what happens is we get this opportunity to know what we know now, kind of that whole, oh, if I only knew what I know now. Back then, well, this is our opportunity. Now we know a lot of things. We've been on this kind of this soul's journey, this soul expansion. And at this point, we get to make different choices. So instead of maybe not doing something because we felt we couldn't, because we were maybe caregiving for someone or something happened in our situation of life that sort of went off the tracks a little bit, maybe where, we were feeling very enlightened and inspired, but we, for some reason, ended up making choices that didn't bring us to where we want to go. This is an opportunity to be able to sort of repeat that. And I find with this particular family, it's the people that are on this journey right now of soul expansion and just learning different things about what your soul is really calling you to be doing. What I'm finding is that it is really powerful. This is one of the more powerful eclipses that we are going to have. So with pre-eclipse, which is this week, because the actual eclipse is going to be happening on the 20th, 21st of April. And so this week is very big in preparation of being able to let our soul kind of really come at this higher awareness, because what an eclipse does is it's almost like super speed for soul expansion. So we've been asking for this. Hey, Nikki, welcome. We've been wanting this. We're feeling things on a level where we're like, I really feel like I'm ready. And, we, with the law of attraction, and we know how all this works, we're asking for something, right? We're literally asking for something, whatever it is, we're ready for. It might be abundance. It might be that relationship. It might be a big change. It might be a change with work. It might be, it could be absolutely anything. We're actually getting this super speed action action sort of window of about 2 weeks. So it happens on the new moon as well, which is absolutely huge. This is literally letting us get into that higher level of awareness and evolution on a really fast tracked timeline. So being prepared for it and being ready, a lot of people are almost finding it kind of challenging, because what happens is when you're going through a soul expansion, when you are moving your soul to closer, getting more into alignment with where you want to be, often something has to shift. And so this is our chance to kind of do a bit of a cleanup. It's kind of like a massive purge. It's literally a time where we can let go of the limiting beliefs that we really don't want to carry anymore, that have been going against our life path. Because if you think about it, if there's something that you want and it hasn't occurred yet, it's often because we're stopping ourselves somehow, some way. We're maybe not sure. We know that it's all about alignment. It's all about vibration and being in alignment with the vibration of it. We know soul's not going to come down to a place where we're not ready for. It's literally this opportunity to kind of go with your life's path, actually get on that path of least resistance. So it's really beautiful. During the 2-week window, this eclipse portal that we're going to have starting the 20th, it's basically telling us what we really need to live authentically, to actually allow our souls to expand, to empower us. And so it's this time to really cleanse and clear. We need this space in our field to be able to allow these things to come in. And so these things that we're clearing, for some of us, it's a limiting belief. It's a repetitive pattern that we've been, sort of recognizing lately. And this week is going to be when we're recognizing it. We're going to be shown. So I want you guys to really pay attention to everything that's happening around you. For example, last week, I ended up having a Zoom, what do they call it? Zoom bombing, where a whole bunch of sort of random people had come on, and I knew that I needed to sort of shift things and probably start charging for webinars. So instead of beating myself up and thinking, oh, they attacked me, it was a spiritual attack or whatever, it was like, no, it's just showing me that I should probably start being discerning and start, really making these changes, because that would have stopped it all. It was just really enlightening. When we look at things as enlightening or as a lesson, we can really learn from it. It can be very valuable. Sometimes we don't tend to learn our lessons, though. A lot of times we say, oh, I learned my lesson. But are we acting on it? Are we actually making changes, or are we still kind of repeating the same things? It's not that we only have these 2 weeks to make these changes. It's just that cosmically we are supported to be making these changes. So it's so much easier. It's like the universe is helping us right now to just clear some of this stuff out. It's all about living happily and contentedly, living on purpose, living intentionally, being able to actually improve your life. It's all about expanding your imagination and your intuition. So for people that have been on this path of learning how to tap into their intuition and learn how to tap into where they're out of alignment, it's going to be at super speed. It's like what you've been waiting for is this window to be able to literally allow you to push through any challenges, anything that's going to help you to see your life's purpose and to really embrace it. So the things that we should really be doing in these 2 weeks are cleaning up our life, kind of looking at what it is in our life that we could clean up a little bit. We actually get the opportunity to do this without the universe doing it for us. If we don't, however, tend to take these lessons, take these things that we're learning and actually act on them, the universe will sometimes choose for us. And so things will be a little bit more forced than we may necessarily want them to be or expect them to be. So if you actually don't prepare properly this week and kind of, just be in tune, pay attention to those little things, maybe make some shifts and changes. Sometimes they're made for us. Now, you may see this with health. We think, oh, I really have to start, eating better. I really have to, whatever. All of a sudden, some big gut issue comes around, or, I know I need to, I was thinking the other day, I'm ready to do a fast. And I'm like, often when I'm ready to do a fast, it's hard to just sort of make yourself do it. So it ends up happening that I've gotten sick before where you just can't eat. And then it's like, well, that was the easiest fast I ever did. But it'd be nicer to do it by choice than to get sick. And because it's like your body knows anyway. So really paying attention to these things is super important in this pre-eclipse phase. So this whole week gives us a really great opportunity to be prepared, to remember that an eclipse is going to bring balance. And so any situations that have been out of alignment, it's going to bring balance for the greater good. It's not just about getting you, something that you want, but it's actually for the greater good to empower you even more. Good evening, Tamara. Welcome. So I'm just talking a little bit about, hey, beautiful. Just talking a little bit about our eclipse window that's coming up. We have an eclipse starting with the new moon next week on the 20th. And it's like a real clean house kind of thing. It helps to get us in balance, cosmically supports us to get into balance. But this month is a little bit more intense because we're being pushed. So it's like for your greater soul's expansion, we're actually being pushed a little bit to make these changes. And if we don't make the changes, I was just saying, sometimes they're made for us. So it's more by force than by choice. So this is our opportunity, especially this week, to really do a lot of this by choice. So when we're getting these messages, per se, when we're getting these signals, when we're getting these repetitive situations kind of coming up that are
It's
just
probably even faster.
showing us, um, that you see something more than once, it's like, why does this keep happening to me this week? Know that you get to actually alter your approach a little bit. We actually get to make some new decisions right now. We get to make the choices that are going to be for our greater good with ease. It's not such a struggle. A lot of times it's really hard to take new things on or to make big changes. This is a week where big changes are really going to be feeling so right, especially when you pay attention to your intuition and really know that you're being helped and that you're loved, that this is all sort of working out exactly the way it's supposed to. It really makes a big difference for people. So this is the first eclipse of the season that's occurring with a new moon. So it's literally this door open to a life renewal. It's all about fresh starts. It's all about um, creating what it is that you want, and so much so that it's in Australia that this is happening, but it affects the whole world. But what I thought was really cool was in Australia, where the actual total eclipse is happening, there's this sort of small patch on the coast, and there was a cyclone that actually came through Australia and moved right over the exact place that eclipse is going to be happening and shining on, like the exact circle. If you're to look on the radar, it's like it literally cleansed the whole area with a cyclone, like it beginning. Talk about new beginnings, talk about fresh starts. It gave the whole land even a fresh start. And this just happened like a day or two ago. So I thought that was quite interesting. But know that this is really for your life's path. It's not a threat. It's not like, oh, if I don't make these changes, it's going to be crazy. It's just your soul's been asking for this. And so we have the most support to kind of make these changes. And it also gives us a little bit of insight. If things are pretty in your face, if there's some patterns that are showing up, if there's some things that are just that kind of keep on coming up for you, it's a chance to let this go. And one of the things that really occurred to me is that one of the things that we need to really let go of sometimes is pain. And that's pain of the past. We've been through some pretty painful things, and we can sort of, I always say we can choose to sort of stay in pain. We can choose to be the powerful creator. We can choose to try and focus on feeling a different way. But when we actually do a bit of a ceremony type thing, or a bit of a meditation to allow us to choose to let go of the past, choose to let go of some pain, it can be very profound. So that's what we're going to do tonight in meditation. We're going to do a little bit of an energy chakra clearing meditation coming up right away. And we're going to allow ourselves to be free, to allow ourselves to just notice what comes up for us. In the meditation, we're going to use a book sort of metaphor. And when I did it, I just did this meditation last night myself, after I had written it. And it was really powerful because some stuff came up that I didn't even sort of realize that I was hanging on to. And I thought, these are the kind of things that are coming up right now for us. These kind of things that we don't even maybe necessarily know that we're hanging on to, that we are really truly ready to let go of. And that is this life's renewal. That is this cleansing and decluttering and kind of any discordant vibrations. You know, we will always talk about raising our vibration. And this is my true topic subject for tonight is acceptance. And acceptance is right in the middle of our frequency scale. If you guys have seen a frequency scale before, they're really cool because on the bottom end of the scale is more of our emotions around despair, fear, anger, hatred, sadness, depression, grief. They're all kind of on the lower end of the vibration scale. And then we move up to the middle of the scale where we're at acceptance. When we are trying to go from sad to happy, it's rather impossible. You know, if I was to just say, don't be depressed, think about something that you're grateful for. It's kind of like, yeah, screw you. You know, like that's, you can't get there from there. Like if it was that easy, I would just do it. But there is a magic way, and it is just jumping up the frequency scale bit by bit. So what we do is first we kind of jump into, you know, a slightly higher feeling. If it's grief, then we jump into, you know, as close to acceptance as we can get. And what acceptance really means is looking at there's so many things that we can't change. So what we get to do this eclipse season is become a warrior instead of a worrier. And when we're worrying, we have these sort of like toxic worries, and there's like constructive worries and then destructive worries. And those destructive worries are what changes our vibration. It brings us down to this lower frequency where pain and grief and all of those frequencies gather because they're magnetic. They attract each other. This is the law of attraction. And this is what a lot of people don't get about manifesting and the law of attraction, is that whatever you're thinking about the most will grow. Whatever you're feeding will grow. So it's important to really make sure that you're not feeding those lower frequency vibrations too much food or too much energy or too much airtime, because what they will do is just continue to gather other thoughts. So by moving up into acceptance, we look at, okay, can I do anything to change this? Is there anything about this that I can change? If it's not, if there's nothing we can change, because there are a lot of things that happen to us trauma-wise that we can't change, it doesn't mean that we don't worry about it anymore. But when we start to manage our emotions, when we start to manage our thoughts, when we start to clean up the brain a little bit, we start to be able to move into acceptance and look at what we can change and go into constructive worry instead. Look at solutions for the problem. Okay, so this really sucks, but what can I do? What can I do to maybe say honor this person that's passed? What can I maybe do to repair this relationship? It can be, you know, you could be fighting with a friend. It could be anything. It could have been, you know, losing a lot of money. It could have been something that you regret, something that you've, you know, really need forgiveness for that you haven't gotten, or maybe you have to forgive someone else. There's, what can we do? You know what? I may not be able to change them, but I can forgive them because that's going to give me mental peace. This is acceptance. This is going into, you know, it happened, but I'm not going to let it control me. I have control over this. So how am I going to choose to think about this? Am I going to stay in problem orientation? Am I going to recognize that I'm staying in problem orientation? Am I going to recognize that I'm staying in destructive worry, and that what will happen is it affects our DNA? It's going to end up dragging us down quite far sometimes, when we really, that's not what we want. We want to be in creative structure. We want to create things. We want to be in those higher frequency emotions of love and joy and gratitude and appreciation. And, the higher you get, the better. I have all sorts of tricks. I use essential oils a lot, like black spruce will bring me up to a frequency of 555 just by smelling it. So that's a really quick way that I hop into one of those higher frequencies if I wake up and don't feel like adulting, or just don't feel like, you just, nope. I had a day last week, I woke up and I was like, nope, not doing it. Just not doing it. So I have my black spruce sitting beside the bed, took a big whiff, did some meditations, had some really profound thoughts that needed to move through. And it was like, oh, I had this amazing day. But you can shift your frequency with something like that. You can shift it with a song or dancing, change your state. A happy song will change that vibration right away. Jumping around like a fool will change that right away. Laughing. I was recommending last week to watch fainting goat videos or cat videos, or something that just makes you laugh. Be around a baby that makes you laugh. Call a friend that makes you laugh. Someone that inspires you and enlightens you a little bit. So, really knowing that this is a metamorphosis time. This is like a really deeply personal metamorphosis time. This month is really about discovering what is still kind of in the muck. Kind of like soul's been sort of steering you around the dog poop on your walk, and we get to kind of follow and not step in it, or we can choose to not pay attention and wind up stepping in it and then have to clean up the whole big mess. I don't know why that just popped into my head, but it's literally like soul taking you on a walk, on a path, and that resistance is us usually going, no, I'm not going to, I feel like I should probably do this, but no, I'm just going to do this anyways. Well, there you're stepping in dog poop, right? So we have this opportunity to really sort of transform some of these old energy patterns, especially the ones a couple of you might have missed, but about 18 years ago. So think back to about April 2005, where you were, a lot of times, especially at that time, 2005, there was a really big shift again with the planetary eclipses, the family going on, that we were really inspired. We were kind of jumping into this, like, yeah, I've got this. We were feeling powerful. We were feeling enlightened. We were raising our consciousness. We were evolving. And a lot of times we made some choices that didn't allow us to fully get there. This is that opportunity to really kind of open your mind, open your heart, get things balanced, let things go, and move into acceptance to be able to really make the most of this super speed expansion that we have going on right away. So I've talked really fast. I'm trying to make sure that I stay on time tonight, just because of the eclipse. There's just so much to talk about. Hopefully that helped you guys. A lot of times this sort of forced change at this time can make us really tired, make us really drained, sort of feeling like, especially next week, if we haven't kind of done this cleaning work, we may be extra tired. But a lot of people are feeling some of these ascension symptoms per se, where they're feeling these strong bursts. Like Tuesday, Wednesday this week there was such strong bursts of energy, and then it was like, woof, your body just kind of shut down to reload and reset. I had a lot of people saying they were almost like, one person referred to it as like pregnancy tired. She's like, I was worried that I was pregnant because I was so tired, like I had to go lie down after work, and I haven't had to do that for a long time, or I had to lie down before I saw clients. Like it was like your body's just going, shut her down, just shut her down. So allow that to happen, because it's almost like plugging in your cell phone so that you can actually recharge. So if you guys are up for it, I'm going to do kind of like a recode tonight. I want you to really get into where you're going, because wherever you're going is here you are. And so a lot of times I hear people saying, well, I just want to get back to, where I was, last year. And whenever we break it down a little bit more, they never actually want to get back to where they were. They want to go somewhere else. We want to expand. We just maybe don't want to be exactly where we are right now. So I want you to think about some of the little changes that you could make. If it was just even feeling happier on a daily basis, feeling more peaceful, feeling more joy, feeling like you were finding your true nature and purpose a little bit, feeling like you were being that really powerful creative force in your life, not really letting what happens around other people, other situations control you so much, but really kind of managing your emotions and being able to be that truly powerful creative force in your life. So I want you to just embrace how that feels for a moment. And what happens is when we close our eyes, we can kind of get into the imaginative, bigger picture. We can get into visualization a little bit easier. When we have our eyes open, we can get sucked in by some of the details, and we keep on thinking, I kind of want this, but I kind of want that. And you kind of look around and so I want you guys to just for a moment get into a space where you can be comfortable. And I'm just going to start leading us into a nice meditation. Hopefully it's not too noisy in the background here. There's a fan and stuff that, so maybe I'm going to unplug. Yeah. Oh, that's so much better. That was so loud. There are some noises in the background still, but try and ignore those as best as possible if you can. And so for the next probably 15 minutes or so, I am going to take you guys just through a nice meditation and recode, because a lot of this stuff is probably things that, just as we were talking about some of these things that we're ready to let go of and ready to change and move, it's probably brought some stuff up for you. And what also happens is we get a little bit of resistance when we start to think, well, I would really like this. Yeah, I'd really like to be more abundant, or I'd really like to be more balanced, or I'd really like to be more ambitious or motivated. But I never have time. And you could sort of think ahead a little bit and just understand exactly what it is that you're really wanting to create. So if you guys are up for it, I will have you just get into a comfortable position where you can close your eyes and just allow me to guide you through and connect with your field, if you guys are all okay with that. And we are going to just take some nice deep breaths. I'm going to just end up giving you guys some energy work while we're doing this too. So we'll just kind of start clearing this out. And I want you to just get this end result of being that true predominant creative force in your life, being the one that's making the decisions, being the one that's in control of your power, being the one that is in charge, that is making these choices, noticing these patterns, and just choosing the end result of being that powerful creator, and even expanding into your true nature and purpose a little bit. Oof, there we go. I can feel my hands just being drawn towards you guys right away here. Alrighty, so when you're breathing in, I want you to just take some nice deep breaths in through the belly. And as you breathe out, just breathe out a little bit longer than you're breathing in. The counts don't matter per se, just breathing out a little bit longer and noticing that air coming in through your belly, in through your nose. And as you breathe out through your mouth, and give that air a little bit of an extra push at the end so you get some of that stale air out of the diaphragm and really just allow that beautiful exchange of air. And I want you to feel down into your feet, and I want you to imagine that as you're breathing, you're actually breathing up through your feet, that you're bringing that air up in through your feet into the middle of the body, bringing it all the way up to the middle of the body, right into your solar plexus, and then breathing out. Taking a few more nice deep breaths in through the feet. Just in your mind's eye, just imagining that you can breathe in through your feet right now. And I want you to bring that air up a little bit further. And as it comes into your belly, as you breathe out, I want you to imagine breathing out through the top of your head. So breathing in through the feet and pushing that air all the way up out of the top of your head. And as you start to feel that air moving through your body, up through the top of your head, you can imagine it being forced out of the top of your head, almost like a fountain that just starts to flow. And just allowing that air to move all the way through. All the way from your feet. And then up in through the belly and out the top of the head. Just using your imagination to move your air through your body. This is an energy channel breath. This is just really unblocking, clearing that energy, moving all the way through your body. And I want you to imagine now that down through your feet, there's these little roots that are starting to grow, and they're starting to tap down deep into Mother Earth. Just like plugging in your cell phone into the matrix, plugging your body into the matrix of the universe, and allowing her energy to recalibrate, balance, discharge, and recharge any of those energy centers that need it, bringing that up through the feet. Imagine it's almost like a crystal grid starting to move through your body. That crystalline energy is starting to bring up into your feet and all the way up into your legs, all the way up into the knees. Imagine that crystalline energy grid starting to reprogram all of those cells in your lower body, all of the cells in your legs, your knees, your thighs, just allowing that crystal grid to start working, start doing its magic, moving it up into the root chakra. And that root chakra is all into the pelvis, where a lot of those lower vibrational energies are contracted, stuck. They tend to stick in and around the hips where there's fear, despair, grief, anger, all around the hips. Just imagine those muscles in your lower body all relaxing and releasing, feeling where you're sitting, lying. Allow that energy to just release and relax all the way down in through your pelvis and coming up into your lower back and your lower abdomen. Healing, recalibrating, rebalancing anything in that lower abdominal area, all the sexual organs, your guts, your liver, starting to move up into the pancreas and all around your stomach, all around your GI tract, your kidneys, your adrenal glands, just allowing those all to reset, recalibrate, just sending some energy down into there right now. You can feel a warmth in the low back right now. And just allow that crystal grid to start working its way up into the upper belly and into the rib cage, moving into the lungs, in between all of the ribs, moving in through the lungs, the heart, the collarbones, the shoulders, the arms, the elbows, the wrists, and down to each little finger, and just recalibrating all of those parts that are all about giving and receiving. Each little finger has lessons, just allowing that crystal grid to move through every little finger, every little joint, through the whole nervous system, through the lymphatic and the blood system, the digestive system, moving through all of your systems, resetting, recalibrating, and moving up into that throat chakra, where right now we are being called to speak our truth, being called to stand up for ourselves, knowing that being selfish is the best thing that you can do, knowing that it's actually not being selfish, but it's called being self-responsible, taking care of yourself, putting yourself first, having these boundaries, knowing that you are worth it, that you are loved, and allowing it to move up, that crystal grid moving up through the neck, elongating the neck, going through the back of the head, the brain, all of the different parts of the brain, and now into the mind, into the third eye, balancing body, mind, soul. Notice any little sort of twists or ticks or twitches in your body. Sometimes on the right side you get a little twang, almost like someone's just brushing against you or even flicking you quickly. It's like a little yes feeling. Do you mind if I leave? Not at all. Thank you. Alrighty. So just let that move through your crown chakra. Just allowing that all to settle in, recalibrate. Opening that crown up to the stars, to the moon. Just expanding as you feel that breath again moving through your body. And I want you to imagine right now that you are on a beautiful walk in this lush green forest, and you're just feeling your feet go one in front of the other. And as you get to the edge of this forest, you notice that there's a beautiful little set of stairs that are leading down to a beach. And there's 5 steps. I want you to just stand at the top and watch your feet as you start to step down these steps. And as you step down these steps, you get even more and more relaxed. Your body is getting ready to allow your subconscious to hear, see, and feel the things that you've been wanting and needing and asking for. And as you go down to the 4th step, you feel the superconscious mind start to tap in and start to push up some of these known patterns, some of these things that you're just ready to see that you can let go of. In this eclipse, pre-eclipse light, imagine this being shown to you right now as you step down to the 3rd step, nice and slowly. You're starting to open your mind a little bit more and feel that gravity just coming down, holding your body, wanting to bring you down to that 2nd step now. And relaxing even more, moving down to the 1st step, and then feeling your foot touch the sand, and just feel that feeling as you step down onto the sand. And notice now that as you step down onto the beach, that the sun starts to go down and it starts to get dark, and you're looking at a beautiful sunset. And over on the beach is a beautiful bonfire. And I just want you to start walking on the beach. Maybe step down to the water, go and dip your toes in. Imagine your toes on the edge of that water and just feel what it feels like to feel the power of the water around your feet, the waves coming in and out, almost like they're hugging you, bringing forth any more lessons from the water element. Feeling the air element bringing any more lessons, the wind in your hair, the wind against your legs, the wind as it blows the waves very gently over your feet. Enjoying that beautiful water energy. And now notice that you're feeling called towards the fire energy that's ready to help you let go of any of these things that are no longer serving you. And walk over to where the fire pit is and just sit down on one of the chairs or logs that's around it, however it looks to you. And notice that beside you, you see a book. There's a book that's sitting right beside you, and it has a title. The title could be whatever you want. But this is a book that just has all of the painful, regretful, the memories, the things that you're ready to kind of maybe even let go of. It's a history, it's a story of some of the things that have traumatized you, some of the things that have happened over your life, and it goes all the way back from before you were even born. And I want you to pick this book up, and I want you to just look at it, look at the title, look at the make of it. Does it look like it's an old book? Does it look like it's kind of new? Is it leather? What kind of cover does it have on it? Is it a paperback, or is it more like a textbook? Has it been flipped through a lot, or has it been maybe just hardly ever opened? It's just got more and more stuff written in it, but never really been read through. A lot of us have taken painful memories and we've just put them somewhere. We've shoved them down. Well, they're all in this book. They've been placed there by this eclipse energy. have been removed from our body. They have been placed in this book where it's safe. And all of the wisdom has remained in our body. All the wisdom of these lessons, all the wisdom of these traumas, all the good memories around the people that are in this book of pain are in our hearts, are in our chakras, are in our bodies and in our DNA. All of the wisdom that we need, everything that we've ever needed from any of these painful lessons and traumas are still being held in our superconscious field. But the pain that we have been hanging on to, the things that we're blaming ourselves for that maybe can be reconceptualized, those things that weren't even our fault, those things that we've been worrying about, those things that we regret, those things that we've been carrying around like luggage have all been placed in this book. And I want you to just sit with this book, be grateful for it, be thankful for it. There was a lot of really big lessons in there. But the good that we need to keep from it and the memories that we want are all in our heart and in our superconscious field. And notice how you feel about this book. If you're ready to maybe let it go, if you're ready to maybe open it up and rip out some pages that feel ready to just, be cleansed and cleared from our field. Maybe it's a book of old patterns. Maybe it's the book of things that were just, those things those limiting beliefs, feeling unworthy, those beliefs of having to be perfect all the time, those beliefs that we can't rock the boat, that we can't have confrontation, that we aren't good enough, that we aren't capable enough, that we don't have enough information, all of those limiting beliefs that we have that are just ready to be shifted, ready to be let go of. Just, they're not even ours. We took them on from somewhere, from something, but we don't need them anymore. They're not bringing our soul any closer to expansion. They're not bringing us to where we want to go. We're just carrying it around so that it takes up space in our field. And all of this is in this book right now. And I can already feel some of you already throwing the whole book in the fire, just ready to let it go. Just do what feels right for you. You can put this book back in your backpack. You can just leave it on the bench there by the chair. You can leave it by the fire. You don't have to take anything out if you don't want to. But know right now that this fire is ready to just cleanse all of our DNA, all of our energy centers, our bodies, our souls, our superconscious. We're just going to tag and treat any of the parts right now that are having resistance to letting some of this pain go, and knowing that the pain has been stopping us. The pain has been keeping us stuck. The regrets, all of that, it's just in this book, ready to be literally transformed right now into fire. And whatever feels right for you, throw that book in, throw those pages in, and just feel the light that starts to enter your body as you start to realize that you are capable, that you are worthy enough. You are good enough. You are a kind person. And I want you to think about how far you've come and all the good things you do for all the people in the world, and how this can just expand even further, how this can allow you to take care of yourself so well that you'll have so much energy to take care of others that it will just be pouring out of you. You won't even be able to stop yourself. And feel your soul start to expand. Feel your soul start to become one with your spirit self, with your soul expansion coming into your body, allowing all of this to start to come into balance and start to come together. And feel the light, just breathing that light in now through the top of your head. Breathing that light in and breathing out down through your feet with a few nice deep breaths. Receiving breaths, bringing that in from the top of your head and pushing it down through the belly and out through the bottoms of your feet. And feeling how light it feels to not have to carry that around anymore. Feel that little heart palpitation that you got where your heart just expanded, where your heart just healed up a little bit by letting some of this go. Carrying that around was heavy. Noticing the lightness across your shoulders, the light energy feeling, the warmth that's starting to move through your body. And notice any dense energy that might be in your body right now, and just Allow that to shift through and move through with a few more nice deep breaths. Allowing that breath to just move through your body. And when you're ready, we're going to go back to those stairs and we're going to go back walking up as we start to slowly come to just allowing any events, any emotions be tagged and treated in the field and do a massive change history on any resistance towards letting any of this go. Tagging and treating any more of those energy systems, any of those body systems, allowing that light to just move through the body as your soul slowly expands into this oneness, this transformation, this new you that's going to go start walking up the stairs when you're ready, taking that first step. That second step as we just tag and treat any vows, any contracts that we'd made, any holding on to that pain, treating holding on to that pain with a massive change history. Allowing our superconscious to see this true enlightened soul that is ready for more, that has been asking for very particular things to come into your life, creating more happiness, more balance, more peace, more joy, more gratitude, more appreciation as you take a step up to the third step. Tagging and treating those frequencies and doing a massive change history on that. Up to the fourth step, I want you to just imagine the moonlight, the starlight starting to come, those stars starting to shine so bright now that the sun is set. You can actually feel it like pixie dust starting to come into your body and move through, cleansing, recalibrating, and cleaning out anything else that needs to be cleaned out. Tagging and treating any other resistances in the field as we step up into step number 5. And I want you to just feel what it feels like to be your true nature and purpose, to be that true empowered creator of your life, of your emotions, of managing your emotions, of noticing how you're feeling, noticing the thoughts. Okay, massive change history on that as you reach that 5th step and start walking back towards the forest path. And down the trail as this new you. Imagine what you could see around you if you really let your imagination go a little bit wild right now. What would a life that you really love look like? What would it look like to be a balanced creator, not stuck in problems, but really in creative genius as much as possible? Just allow yourself to feel, to envision that. What would a life you really love look like? Would it look like peace and harmony, having certain people around? What are some sounds that you would hear? What are some smells that you can smell right now in that forest? Is anybody there with you? What are some colors that you can see? You might hear animals in the woods. You might hear the waves still, just the most beautiful, peaceful sound. Tagging and treating that capability, doing a massive change history. And we're going to ground all of this into the matrix of the universe, to memories and timelines 1, 2, and 3. Doing a massive super recode on anything else in the field that needs it right now. Just choosing to release some of that pain, to not carry all of that around with you. And when you're ready, you can come on back. You can wiggle a finger, wiggle a toe, open your eyes when you're ready, and only when you're ready. And just notice some of those moments that may have come up when you open that book that you thought of that maybe brought up certain memories. Those certain memories are maybe not even ready to be completely let go of, but to be reconceptualized, to be brought into acceptance, into what we can and can't change, and to perhaps free ourselves from some of the pain that we've been carrying. We sometimes carry it like a badge, like it's honoring someone. And it comes down to it's not honoring anybody, it's just holding us back a lot of the time. And in fact, to honor someone, whether they're here or not, involves the truth and involves acceptance and involves knowing that they would also want you to be happy and free and peaceful. And so with that, I am going to bid everyone a good evening. I'm going to just stop the Facebook Live here.